As families get ready for another not-so-normal school year, we want to make sure that you know exactly what to expect as your kids head back into the classroom. So every day this week, we have the Fox 6 School Squad visiting different districts.
And this morning, Angelo Bavaro is in Hartford, right outside Weaver High School. Angelo, good morning. The countdown is on. Less than 2 weeks to go for those kids in Hartford, right?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Less than 2 weeks to go. That is right. Monday, August 30th. That is the big day when these schools are going to be packed once again. And you were talking about this at the top of the show, but it's kind of crazy to think about for some of these students. This is their first time stepping back into a classroom in about 17 months since March of 2020. So that does beg the question, how is the district working to address any learning gaps and fill in those gaps as well? Take a listen.
Just how much did the pandemic affect students' learning? That answer may be pretty dramatically, according to this report from the Northwest Evaluation Association released last month. Using data from millions of students across the country in grades 3 through 8, it found students made gains during the 2020-2021 school year at a lower rate compared to pre-pandemic levels. The report also found that some groups were disproportionately impacted, including Black and Latinx students and students in high poverty schools.
We spent several months throughout the spring engaging our community around what could we do to mitigate the interruption of learning and the needs, the social, emotional, mental wellness needs that students and our staff have.
Hartford Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Leslie Torres Rodriguez says federal relief funding is allowing the district to make some major investments to address those needs.
I'll share some examples. So reduce class size in some schools and in some grades that have the higher level of need. We know that we're expanding our community school model, and what that means is that we will now go from 8 to 13 schools that have a model in which we have community partners in our schools throughout the day and after school and on weekends, supporting students academically and with their social, emotional, and enrichment needs.
Teachers will also be working to address those needs as students return to the classroom.
Of course, it's going to be fun to see everybody to reconnect, but we have a lot of work to do to kind of fill in those gaps that were missed over the past year and a half.
That's Victoria Shears, an elementary resource teacher at Sand School.
For my district, I know that we were able to get some grant money to hire additional staff. So, for example, at my school, in the past year, we had 2 research teachers, myself and Ms. Nguyen, and this upcoming school year, we'll have 5. So we'll have 1 person specifically looking at math, and then we'll have 2 teachers that are helping support reading, and they'll be split by grade level. So I think the additional staff is really going to help us with those interventions, with those one-on-one, getting students where they need to be.
Yeah, and Victoria calling this an all-hands-on-deck effort to get students back on track as they get back into person learning. That is going to happen 5 days a week now with no remote options.